having you as a guest, Seema. Like,
Let's see. I will attempt to not be confused by my.
oh, there we go. Nope, it says
multiple.
we're streaming. That's good. I am not dropping frames, and
Like dropping bait.
I'll pop it on my second screen here too.
there we go.
Yep.
All right,
Yep, I can see you guys.
we're good. Oh, lost Mew. Are you dancing around Mew? There we go.
I'm dancing around, yeah. Wait,
Okay.
why do you look delayed?
I'm not delayed.
You were briefly delayed for a moment, and then now it's caught up.
Okay. I don't know. It all hiccuped. We're all good.
Or
Oh,
You look like a WoW person now. Like you're going. And then
I thought you were just
come.
doing your ventriloquist act or something. I don't know.
no. So,
Moment everything looks good.
yay! All right. And Kaz says he can see and hear us.
Yep. All right.
Oh, hang on. I gotta get show notes open. After the computer crash,
Yeah.
it never reopened.
Those are useful.
Well,
Not as useful as my spreadsheets, though.
no. I mean,
Come on,
spreadsheets
Firefox.
for life.
We'll put them inside of a spreadsheet, and then you have the ultimate power.
Well, hello there.
See, Max, this is why Seema doesn't heal you. You just don't repair anything. So if you don't take care of your own items, why should she take care of you?
So all broken.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
My broken stuff
Yeah.
goes with my my mount too.
I'm gonna be fine today.
It's all good. All right. Who is leading this?
Is-
Oh, you are.
This is my monkey show.
Season for
Yeah,
Right. All right. Good times.
absolutely is.
Good times. All right. Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Do you like trucks? Do you like ships? Boy, do we have a game for you.
and AIE and WoW is stylish.
The Jesters Festival is coming, and we're not fooling.
Death Till Dawn is on the horizon.
And we have Seema and Max here to talk to us about all things AIE and SWTOR.
Hello, everybody.
Hi! All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 363 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Octa S gaming community. The Die Has Been Podcast. I am Makala. To my left is Tetsemi.
I need my spreadsheets this week really bad.
Oh, I'm sorry, boo.
Oh.
And to our right and over a few states is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies.
And this week we're joined by our very special guests, Seema and Max, who are here to talk to us about AIE and SWTOR. Welcome!
Thank you.
Hello, thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you guys here as always. All right, so before we start digging into news and SWTOR and all that other stuff, I'd like to know what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, no, Max, we're going to start with you. What have you been doing in and out of game?
I've been playing lots of our games. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars. I've been playing that on our big nights in particular, and then on the off nights, I've been doing some Conquest, flying some GSF, that kind of thing, making a little bit of credits, but I'm kind of off my big push as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also been in World of Warcraft. I had my Alliance Hunter that was at like eye level 200, and then decided, like a few weeks ago, that maybe I want to do New Braid someday.
Yeah.
So I've been working on my Horde Hunter. It is
Nice.
now done with Night Fae. I hadn't done Night Fae before.
Nice.
I'm basically far enough where I think I'm at like 185 now on eye level, and I could get a
you're good.
legendary, but we were talking about before the show. I'm gonna wait and get the 235 or whatever. So it's in pretty good shape there. I've been playing quite a bit of. I checked in on Lotro, a little bit of ESO because there's new stuff there. A lot of time on Valheim though too, and we'll talk about that a little bit tonight.
Nice.
That's me.
Awesome. All right, Mew, what's been up with you?
All kinds of stuff. Like game wise, we'll start there. Probably just a ton of Final Fantasy 14. Basically stretching my skills in ways I've not done before. It's almost sad to think of just how badly I was skating by before I kind of polished up those skills. And yeah, the savage raids are a real challenge, and it's that kind of challenge that when you rise above and finally get through, and you're like, it's such a good feeling. It's something WoW used to do for me years ago, but yeah, not so much anymore. But yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. There's lots of news coming up for that one soon. The community is still great over there, but other than that, spending a lot of time in Genshin Impact, which I'm honestly surprised not to see more buzz about it in AIE land, because it's such a interesting game that like you can just pick up and run with, and then put it down and get back to something else. Like it goes very well with our kind of play style.
Yeah.
They have regular content updates, which is I wish some of our other games would do. And it's
wow.
I don't know, it's kind of like having like an MMO, but like co-op Borderlands style. To where it's designed for single player, but you can bring in a couple friends if you want to do some dungeons or raids or other crazy stuff, or just want to run around in the open world and run amok. So yeah, it's definitely something I recommend looking into if you're into that. Other than that, a little bit of WoW, definitely like barely touching it. I'm essentially raiding it, logging to raid if I make it in time. Had some unexpected nap issues lately, and a birthday party that kind of not party, but
Celebration.
birthday celebrations. Yeah, that kind of delayed our whole schedule, so it makes it hard to get to raid. But yeah, and I did spend a little bit of time in Fallout 76 to push through their the little board game thing, the scoreboard that they do.
Right.
Will be ending, I think, is it April, I think. So if you are still trying to earn those items, you don't have too much time. So jump in and finish that up if you're still into Fallout 76. Still a pretty fun game, still pretty solid. It needs some more content, but they've been busy. Some of their people are down here, and might have been hit by that lovely winter storm we had. So I know they had a lot of stuff get pushed, like ESO got pushed because of it too. So sometimes, but that's the most of it for me. Nothing really to speak of, in the real world. Just kind of hunkering down and eagerly awaiting all the other fun stuff happening out in the world.
Awesome. All right. And Seema, what have you been up to in and out of game?
Well, I was a little bit late to this call because I was working on putting together a pizza dough. I'm always looking for good ways to make pizza, and so I'm trying this recipe, and it was at the end of the first rise, and then you work it a little bit, put it back in the fridge for another 24 hours. So
right.
yes, that's what I'm doing. So I'm...
Have I sent you the Chris Bianco's pizza dough recipe?
No.
I'll do that. It's a great recipe.
Yeah. This one is a new one to me, although I've done long rise ones before, but we'll see. I just basically want to get that New York crust kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So periodically I go on this binge of trying to make fantastic pizza dough. So that's where I am right now.
That's a good binge to be on. Let's be honest.
Speaking of things that you've sent me, I did make that apple pie with the caramel. Oh my gosh.
Oh, right? Isn't it delicious?
It was really good. And not that hard.
No, it's really simple.
Yeah.
It's good. And then that salted caramel sauce just kind of puts it over the edge.
Marcus says New England pizza is the best pizza, but I don't even know what New England pizza
Right?
is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lobster.
On that subject, I actually recently found a Chicago style pizza near me, and I'm definitely happy about that.
Oh,
So-
and I made a Detroit style pizza once, and it was really delicious too.
I saw
My-
that. Yeah, is Pizza Hut the one that's pushing Detroit style pizza? I didn't know that was a
What?
thing.
Yeah,
Jets-
I-
What
Jets
is
the
Detroit
chain,
style
the-
pizza?
It's honestly, it's interesting. So it's more like it's a Sicilian shape. So it's like that. That's usually that
square?
rectangle pizza.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Um,
I
they
know what
call
you're
it
talking
grandma's
about.
not-
pizza. Yeah.
Thin
Yeah.
as New York. It's not as thick as like you think like Chicago. Though obviously we love
Yeah.
thin crust Chicago because we're Spinato's
It's
people,
like
which is actually
brownie.
really
It's like
good.
the
But
thickness of a brownie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
it is.
bread,
Okay.
cheese, toppings, and then sauce.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and
the
then
cheese burns. I think you're just
Yeah.
Right.
because the
Yeah.
good part is
when the cheese, you put oil down in the pan, and so the cheese kind of fries along the edges. Yeah, it's good.
it drips into the sides and burns and crisps as it drips into the sides of the pan like a brownie pan. You cook it in a brownie pan.
right.
So as it will be no surprise to anyone who's ever listened to Escape Podcast. Yeah,
The
Food.
Escape Podcast. This is the
Bad.
podcast. Yes.
that's
The
what our
cat
team
needs to
has
escape.
named the first half
Okay.
of our show. Typically.
For anybody, okay, here's why you need to be in the chat room or actually watching the show and not just listening to it. Ted's and I, older cat, about 5 minutes ago, got on my desk, and he's been on camera staring at the screen this entire time. So
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting, Seba. Continue, but I just want everyone to know the shenanigans that it's happening at our desk.
No, I'm done. I just say that we've been having some really beautiful, sunny, crisp,
Ooh.
blue sky weather, which doesn't mean that spring is coming.
No.
I
No.
have to educate myself.
It's fake
Yeah.
spring.
Every year I have to do this. Yes, it's fake
Lies.
spring.
This is
Right.
fall,
March,
spring.
March is the month of lies.
Right.
Although
Yep.
on March 21st, the Wandering Ancient Mount in WoW will change to its spring version.
Yep,
It has.
that's
That's
today.
today?
It's going to
Yep.
change seasons.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
March
Yep, it
21.
changes seasons.
Dang it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The equinox was yesterday.
Yep.
But anyway,
Oh, that's
I
pretty cool.
digress. I enough talking from me. Move
Oh
on.
no, that's why we're here. You're here to talk.
Yes.
No, I'm done.
All right, Ted, what have you been up to?
A little bit of WoW. We did some raiding. Finally got Artifactor down. I was able to participate. They'd got it down before without me. So we're gonna go work on Sun King Salvation, which is a pain in the
Fun
butt
fight.
Yeah,
All that healing.
all that healing. Yeah. So, but other than that, it's kind of been in maintenance mode because I've been spending a lot of time in SOTOR. Seema, somehow you got inside my head and I'm like, oh, I'll just get this character to Conquest. Well, now I need to switch over and I'll get this character to Conquest. I got
Yes, you
10
can't do just one.
characters to Conquest.
I know.
How?
I know. Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that's the mini game. It's like
Yeah.
looking at your list of characters in the guild roster and thinking, who should I do now?
Yeah. So I have 975s that I just did. Did like Ziost and CZ198 and then the Narshada one as well. I would just do those real quick, go to the next character, go through those because they're quick. And then I did a whole series of, okay, this character needs a 306 hilt. Nope, this one needs a 306 armory. Nope, this one needs a 306 barrel. So I literally parked my one item level 306 character at the vendor, and then as each character hit Conquest, they generated enough tech parts,
Tech fragments.
tech fragments that I could then just buy and send them the barrel or the hilt that they needed. So now all my 75s have 306 barrels, hilts, or armorings, whatever they need for their weapons, and they're all weapon shells. So
Nice.
yeah, that was my project this week. I wanted to get that all under control and get that sorted. So I spent a lot of time in spreadsheet updating and figuring out where everyone is. But
Oh,
I'm
that
looking
was your spreadsheet comment at the beginning.
I'm looking forward to Tuesday because I got to open 10 characters worth of conquest stuff. So
Millions of credits.
exactly.
If you sell the
Well,
pass.
that's the other
Yeah.
thing, because I know Kazric mentioned it earlier that he's been trying to, make his first million in SOTOR, and I'm like, just run conquest, because you get. It was amazing. I'd start out with like a character with about 200,000 credits, and by the time I was done, I had over 600,000 credits on that character. So I was just running the planetary missions and hitting conquest goals. I was making about 400,000.
It's raining
character.
credits.
Yeah. So, but that's what I've been up to.
Awesome.
What about you, Mcconaughey?
I've been rolling dice.
In SOTOR?
So let's start with the game that I didn't have a love interest pop in. That's always a good idea. So in our friend SJ's game, which N is also in, and he's in the was in the chat room earlier. Let's see. So we it's actually kind of fun. It's one of those dungeons in a box. So SJ has kind of been running us through, because we counter set it with our Escape to Inverness. So we kind of, we'll do like part of that, and then we'll get to a stopping point, and then we'll do the other campaign. So that way both DMs have a chance to play. But we are doing a kind of fun, like political, a little political. The gnome that we're working with, he had asked us to help him find his friend, because help with something his friend wanted him to work on. Then his friend went missing. So, and now we found out that everybody is looking for him, including the Duke. So then we got some clues. We were relaxing at an inn. He comes running in. He hands us a scroll case. He then says, you need to keep this safe for the good of the realm. He runs out. A minute later, the Duke runs in. They want everybody searched. We had hidden it up high by using mage hands, so nobody could, they couldn't find it easily. They search everybody. Not a great time. Then they bring in the friend of the gnome we're working with dead. So that's great.
Not a good time.
But we have that piece we needed for the quest. For what we're doing. We have the scroll. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna be searching in the sewers. So that's a good time. And then our friend Tony, who we adore, he's one of those players that he loves making characters. And he decided that he did not love his warlock, his bard/warlock. So he's now made a Warforge artificer, who's basically Iron Man. And this has been one that he's been working on and off for a while.
Why does he remind me of Mills?
He does. He did. In fact, that's one of the things I mentioned. I've mentioned to him as well. I'm like, you know what? One of my best friends. Every time we game together, he starts off with one character that he likes the idea of. And then, he's like, I'm good. Here's my other character. And that usually ends up being his long-term character. The same thing happened last time in our last campaign where we played with Tony. So it's that is his MO. He's very Mills-like, where he just loves to make characters. But it's a really fun campaign because it's very more character-driven. Like, En's playing, his this really neat orc who has this really complex past, but because he has this, he's not an orc. He's orc-like, but he's really compassionate. He's really kind of trying to make up for his past. He cares about people. It's kind of fun. And he and I are the kind of the social misfits because I'm playing a tiefling who's had some issues. So I'm like, all right, well, everything's kind of new. So we have it's a lot of fun with that campaign. And SJ, who is a new DM, is just doing an amazing job with it. Now in campaigns where my love life keeps coming back to haunt me, before the last session of our Star Wars campaign, yes, Corley, where I'm playing a TIE fighter, former TIE fighter, DM just messages me right before a game. It's like, hey, does Kay have an X? I'm like, yeah, of course you'd have an X or two. All right. Male, female, give me a description. I'm like, all right, a fellow TIE fighter, cold blonde. Yeah, we're good. So, like, literally, the game session starts, and because we're privateers, but we work primarily for the Alliance or the Republic now, because it takes place 7 years ABY. We're hanging out at the at the Republic base that we're at, and this really great not TIE fighter. Wow, I did it again. It's great. This Republic squadron's now stationed there as of our last adventure, and in comes my character's ex.
Of course.
Which really made her wife happy. Not. And then we find out that the two former Imperials now have bounties on their heads for being defectors.
Of course.
And we're on a mission there was a Bacta tank or a large shipment of Bacta that was stolen from a Hutt overlord. And who's heavily involved in the medical trade. By the way, he provides most of the Bacta to the Republic. So our mission was to recover this Bacta. We have now found out that it's his nephew, who is a Hutt overlord on the other planet, on the planet where it was stolen at. It's his nephew. So actually, it was a pretty good, and it was a real quick in and out mission. It was great. Find out, we figure out who's the best contact. We want to talk to him. We do so. He's really into arena fighting. So we offer up our warrior to go in that arena and fight, and if she wins, then we get to see the Bacta. And that's going to give us time to get the money. If she loses, we need to have that money immediately, plus another 20% if we want it. So he says, "Yeah, that's fine. In fact, I'll let you take 3 people into the ring." So our other warrior type goes, and well, the rest of us we're good with guns. They said we can have 1 weapon, so and my character's wife was going, so I was like, I'll go. I'm also a decent medic. So if something happens and she gets too messed up, I can pull her out and, patch her up as quickly as possible. And then, of course, we're fighting. Oh, my gosh. They're from the arena fighting Attack of the Clones. I can't think of the name of the creatures.
Not the Rancors?
No.
Geonosians?
Yeah. But they were fighting them in the Xenu? And I can't remember the name of them. I have it in my game notes. But now I have to look it up, guys. I apologize.
The cat things?
Nexu. Thank you. Nexu.
Yep.
I had the right letters and almost the right letters there.
Really?
Yeah, good job. So we're fighting one, and then we see there's 2 more that are ready to come out and fight us. So we end up taking the one out, getting really messed up. Our mechanic figures out how we can keep them from coming out. You need to shoot the chains, and of course, our friends up with the Hutt make a mistake and upset him, so he starts to release the other 2. We shoot the chains of one of them. Our other underworld type ends up jumping into the ring to tell it, to join us, and his extent of it was to, hey, shoot the chains.
Right.
That was fun. But we got one, and then we took the other one out pretty easily, with a vibro axe and blasters and all of that. So,
yep.
We found where the shipment was.
Max has one on the screen.
Oh, nice. Yes, exactly. So yeah, it was literally like a mission where it was like an episode and a half of game time to get it, because all we need to do is find out where the Bacta was. Then we can send the transmission of where it was at, and then we're good. So quick in and out. That was great. Call of Cthulhu. We're now to, I don't know, August 20th, 1939. But the good news is we're leaving Europe. And my character got a telegram from her ex, because the story had started like she was working with a not archaeologist who would sometimes take Nazi money to finance his stuff. that was her lover. She was working with him. Beginning of the game, their whole set of adventures. He basically said, "Okay, I need to go do something in Boston," and then she got a note saying, "Yeah, I'm going to Berlin. I'll talk to you later." So she had been dumped. Like, okay, fine, whatever. But now 2 years later, she's gotten a telegram. He needs her help. So, they go to Switzerland from France, where they had just finished up an adventure. And it was fun. It was kind of the telegrams kind of led to, here's where you can find the information, because he's now gone missing. And she finds this out from his current significant other, much younger Squeeze, which is what she was previously. So, yeah. There's a lot of it's the same DM that did the stuff to me as a Star Wars game. So I'm like, yeah, there seems to be a theme this week.
Yup.
Perfect. Yes. The D&D. Yes.
Yeah.
The Cthulhu Tech Matt in theme of the D&D talk. Yes.
Exactly.
All right, so I've babbled enough about dice. Let's get into this week's news and then SOTOR and all that good stuff.
AIE News.
Mandatory Fun Nights, where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. Sunday, WoW Classic, 2 p.m. Eastern. Right now, STO at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Guild Wars 2, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, SOTOR, 8 o'clock max, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, Final Fantasy 14 casual reading at 9:30 Eastern. Wednesday, Final Fantasy Fun Night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Thursday, Final Fantasy progression reading. I need to start. Here's the Final Fantasy schedule.
Right.
That is at 9:30 Eastern on Thursday. Friday, ESO, 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday, Final Fantasy 14 late night fun night, 11 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, Lotro, 8:30 Eastern. Saturday, Final Fantasy Maps Night, 9:30 Eastern. And of course, Saturday at New Braden WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. And in streaming and guild podcast news, get ready, working class nerds. Episode 99, The Twins, Marcus and Nick are joined by the twins, aka great friends of the pod, Joey, Feta, and Al. Their topic of discussion is how video games have helped people get through the pandemic. The usual conversational shenanigans ensue. Enjoy! Also, a reminder, you can call in and leave a voicemail for episode 100 this Thursday, March 25th, via Google Voice. The number is 413-351-2144. Charges may apply.
Guys?
No charges.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I know, it's great. So, really excited to listen to that. All right. And in Escape Podcast News, episode 373, Amps and Uprisings. 6.2.1 brought us a new amplifier roll system, which Max has been abusing, Uprising updates, and Conquest changes. And in Escape Podcast 374, 6.3 incoming. 6.3 was just announced Thursday in a fun-filled live stream, and it was really good. They had 2 voice actor sessions, one with my trooper's love interest, Alara Dorn, and the new character that's coming up for the Darth Malgus story. So we'll get into that shortly. And in Star Trek Online Fleet Action Report 34, Small Craft. Nikitas and Greebog cover the various small craft, from how to acquire them and what you do with them. And in episode 35, they're on part 5 of guest stars. They're back with another episode about the voice actors in Star Trek Online. This episode, they talk about everyone brought in during 2018. They have a guest with us, Midnightage, to help with some of the personal experiences with interviewing a few of the actors.
Neat.
All right.
So over in No Bad's news, Dual Universe, Basco?
Yep.
Or Basco attended the recent car show in game to show off his truck he designed and built, and managed to win a ship while there.
Nice.
That's the person
That's
alluding to to the intro. Katabari recently showed off a small fleet of ships at a recent fly-in and received some good feedback on those. New ship design ideas are being worked on daily by members of the organization. Org is in planning phases for setting up a showroom for selling ships in-game to other players. They're also preparing to start on a very special ship to show off at the next fly-in scheduled for Memorial Day weekend. Then patch 0.24 came with some big changes to textures for elements and materials, as well as terrain and flora. And if you listen closely at night, you can now hear crickets, or space crickets, I guess.
Nice.
Other Nomad stuff, I don't know, Max, did you want to talk about Valheim now, or did you want to save that for your section?
No, we'll do it during this segment. I guess the game news is Valheim is a survival game into the Nomads category that everybody is free to join. It's small group. You can have a maximum of 10 players concurrently, but we have more than that sort of can have a place on the server and people are in and out. We've never filled it up. So if you want to come try it, it is there. Look in the channel. It's pinned in the Valheim channel under the Nomads category. The IP address and the password to get on the server. It's a sort of a survival building game. We'll show it off here in a little bit in the segment.
Yeah, I know a lot
There
of
we go.
people are playing it and really loving it.
I like the building part in particular.
Yeah.
That's what I'll show off.
Awesome. All right. And in Guild WoW news, Trial of Style ran Saturday at 3:20 for the Horde and Sunday at 3:21 at 4 p.m. for the Alliance. And don't worry, you actually didn't miss all the fun. We're going to run again on Tuesday, the 23rd at 8:30 to 8:30 Alliance and 9:30 to 9 Horde. All events, of course, are Eastern Standard, aka server time. If you want to check out the fun, look at pics where it didn't happen in Discord. All right, in a WoW Classic, Rumors of Burning Crusades beta starting next week. Email sent, but not in downloader, and downloader updated on Wednesday.
All right, and in ESO news, recent MFNs have focused on grouping up for dungeons, with a high-level group running one of the two new dungeons, and a lower-level group running random dungeons for experience and levels. There have been several conversations recently regarding leveling and skills, especially since the forced reset. Feel free to ask questions or join in the conversations in the ESO channel in Discord. There's normally at least one death caused by gravity due to Dankinia leading people off cliffs.
Never.
The Jesters Festival in-game starts Thursday, March 25th and runs until April 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. As usual, for MFN, they'll be grouping up to help each other complete the dailies. The first daily each day will reward event tickets. This event also has a 100% experience boost memento you can obtain for and use for the duration of the event, which will be super handy now that the champion point camp has been lifted. The free pet in the Crown Store that is available as of Update 29, as well as the free respecs, will no longer be available after March 22nd at 10 a.m. EDT on PC and March 30th, 10 a.m. EDT on consoles. So don't forget to grab the pet before it's gone.
And over in Final Fantasy XIV news, patch 5.5 titled Death Unto Dawn has an official release date of April 13th. We should be getting a letter from the producer live on April 2nd, which will come with the trailer for the patch. The patch is slated to contain a whole bunch of content, but the highlights do include Part 1 of the 5.5 story, and Part 2 coming at a later date. They're kind of stretching it out a little bit since things are slowing down with how things are. The final Alliance raid, the Yorha Dark Apocalypse, aka the Nier raid, that finishes out, because they usually do it in threes, like that.
Yep.
Also, the close of the Sorrow of Wurlet storyline, where we get to fight Final Fantasy XIV's version of the Diamond Weapon, which again, in threes, it's the third weapon we get to fight. And a new Bajja battlefield, Zadnor, which will close out the Save the Queen storyline and finish the Relic Weapon. And of course, we have new rare crafting ingredients that will drop in the chest for Map Night. So be sure to join in on that if you want that.
Awesome. All right. And some quick updates before we get to our guests. Guild Wars 2, the next Dungeon and More night is on April 9th from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. And in LoToR news, SNL is still going on Saturday nights from 8:30 to 10:30 Eastern. Update 29 has dropped off with a new level 45 zone. And in LoToR, March 18th and April 7th is Return of the Spring Festival. So they are currently getting lost in the maze. If anyone wants to help running skirmishes or epic battles, let them know in the LoToR channel. And with those news updates, let's get back to Seema and Max and find out what is going on in SOTOR.
Yeah,
Hey.
Max, what is going on in SOTOR?
Yeah, what's going on?
I have no
What's going on?
idea.
Whatever.
Who play? Do I play SWTOR?
I don't know.
Do
You
we-
can
do
do
we-
a podcast
Do we talk about
it.
SWTOR hours a week?
Hours.
So I think we could talk about some of the things going on that we're all doing, but just to level set everyone, the fun thing about SWTOR is we have a lot of new people joining, and the guild is doing a lot of things. We've got a lot of sort of pieces and parts of the guild. We have some great leaders, both part of the officers and player leaders, doing a bunch of things throughout the week. So I think it's important to reinforce that. We've got our big open guild night on Tuesday nights, was our mandatory fun night, and we've been filling that up. And there's been a lot of new people that have never done some of the starting stuff in the game. So when we go out and do like a boss kill for like the couple first world bosses that are even in the game, we have 6 people out of 20 that are getting achievements for first time ever killing it across their legacy.
That would
pretty
be
cool.
me.
Oh, that is awesome.
So that's Tuesday. Wednesdays there's ops teams running, which is like a raid team for other games. Thursday there's another ops team and a podcast going on. Is Marcus is usually on Wednesday, isn't it?
No.
There's
Thursday.
earlier on Thursday.
Usually on Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. It's because we're going to be on it this week.
Yep.
Right.
So there's 2 podcasts, AIE podcast, AIE associated podcasts. There's ours and there's Marcus and Nick's that you hear about when we do the news here. Theirs is going to be the 100th episode on Thursday, and Seema and I are going to be on it.
Awesome.
Are we going to do our podcast that night too, Seema? I don't know. We'll have to
It's a lot of podcasting.
Podcast crossover event.
think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, do it together.
And then Friday, we have rotating events. So Friday, on a normal basis, it rotates between an achievement night, and then every other Friday is a flashpoint night. Just small groups of people getting together, doing those things. And then once a month, usually on a Friday, is a bigger monthly event that Marcus runs called our Mega Monthly Epic Guild Activity. We invent all of our acronyms first, the abbreviation,
Right.
and then
And then you
figure out
decide what word you
means.
want to put in there.
Like
Also
shield
known
and
as the-
sword.
Okay, exactly. I was going to say. It means
it's
somebody really
holiday.
wanted to use the word shield.
Yeah, somebody really
Acronym.
wanted to spell shield. And then Saturday and Sunday, I think there's a team getting ready to run right now. And then Monday, there's another stuff on the Republic side on Monday nights. Yep, look, they just started Gods from the Machine,
Nice.
which is one of the end game operations. So there's a team running in there right now. So that's pretty cool too. So every level, we've got people that are now doing some more advanced things. They're doing some progression rating. We've got people that are brand new to the game, just leveling their first character. That's basically the rundown of guild stuff.
Very cool.
Anything I forgot in there, Seema? What else?
Did you say that there's I believe there's 2 teams running ops on Monday nights on the pub side?
And sometimes they combine, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
usually
To
our
do.
teams are 8-person teams, and the ops are either 8 or 16. So if you got 2 running on a night, and we've done this on Thursday nights once in a while with our team, it's pretty fun. And then we'll fill up 16 if we do an operation, or we'll go 25, 30 people, or however many people we have for other stuff that we do for fun on Tuesday nights.
And it's good because the achievements and stuff are separate for 8-man and 16-man.
Yep.
Right. So there's reasons to want to group up once in a while and get the 16-person stuff done, which is pretty cool.
Aside from it's just more wild in general.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, did they
game-wise.
really plan this for 16?
Well, we asked that question in New Braid too when we were doing
Yeah. 30.
Stone
Oh,
yeah, 30 people
God.
doing it. Who's that bat guy that flies around and puts Stone Fist or
Shriekwing.
Shriekwing?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad you got to there from my Stone Fist, but yeah, Shriekwing.
He's good at understanding Babel. He's married to me.
So did they do that on Saturday for? Did they do that last night for New Braid? I know they've been skipping it with a lockout.
I did not make it on Saturday, but we have tried it with New Braid, but we haven't gotten it down unless they did it on Saturday. But I don't think they did, because
I see.
usually G brings a lockout so we can skip
Right.
that. It's actually
Yeah.
the first boss in there on normal, but it's just so crazy with 30 people.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's brutal we run with 12 in our raid team, and you run out of room fast. So I can't imagine 30 people.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Crazy. Game stuff. What you want? I mean, we have game stuff that's just been introduced, and we have game stuff that's just been announced. Which should we start with, Seema? Talk a little bit about that.
Let's start with just introduced.
All right.
So we said the amps. So amplifiers are like, they're like almost like an enchant on your gear. You could think about it that way.
Like
It's
a
just
micro enchant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a micro enchant. So all gear in SWTOR has most of the advanced gear in SWTOR has three parts which make up the assembly. So you have the shell of like my gloves here, and then I have an armoring, a mod, and an enhancement, and even an augment. Each of these, they added this about a year and a half ago. On the armoring in particular, there's sort of like non-fighting versions of these amplifiers and some of the other slots. But on the armoring, you have a DPS or a healing or a tanking little tiny bit of tweak that you can make to your gear. They added a system to these amplifiers so that the way you get the amplifier is you get a random one on that piece when you slot it into your gear, and you got to like roll for it. They added in this new interface so you can sort of see what all your amplifiers are. It's a way for the people that want them in max can go after it. And then they added this new roll system so that you can re-roll, recalibrate your amplifiers, and get a better chance of locking in the higher levels that you're looking for. It's a good way to burn a whole bunch of
Credits.
game currency and just burn it up and throw it away and light it on fire.
Yeah.
But
A lot.
It resets every week. So now I log in on Tuesdays and I spend a couple million credits re-rolling, and I've got a fair number of my DPS to the maximum level now. They're sort of maxed out. All my DPS is maxed.
Max is maxed out.
Yes. Everything is
So
max
that's
level.
one thing. And then why don't you explain the Uprising update and what we have done to test it, our extensive scientific
testing, yes. So Uprisings is a style of instance that's in SWTOR that is, it's a lot of trash. It's like mostly waves of trash. So if trash is not your thing, maybe not Uprisings. But there are bosses, and they recently scaled. I'm probably gonna get this backwards now. They recently scaled the Uprisings to level 70, with max level being 75. So you can go in there at 75. No, it still scales to you at 75, but you have to. I don't know. They've changed how it scales to make it more difficult.
They sort of aligned them with the end game levels to some degree.
I think they scaled them to 75, and if you're below 75, you get
It pushes you up.
It pushes you up, because I'll
that what it
see,
is?
like when we did the Dreadmasters, it said your item level has been increased by this to meet the requirements or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that SWTOR does to sort of address the gearing thing, since they do a level sync all over the galaxy, so wherever you go, everything is sort of synced so that you're never really grossly more powerful than the mobs that are there. However, as you get better and better gear, you do get a buff that adds stacks of powerfulness to you. So even though the mobs are scaled to 75, if you're 75, you do get the benefit of having worked on your gear, and things do get easier. So there is that. But also with uprisings, they did increase the amount of loot that you get, because that was one of the complaints about uprising is like, well, they're not fun and they don't give loot that we like, so why run them? And they're still not fun, but at least now they got more loot.
I was gonna say,
we
sounds like a WoW raid.
Yes. Not as
Wow.
bad as that. Not
Yeah.
as
Sorry.
bad as the WoW. Not as bad as the WoW, but
Okay.
in terms of the loot. But the Max mentioned our extensive testing. We went into one uprising and killed one boss, and then we went in again with 2 more people. So we 2-manned it one, and then we 4-manned one on a different difficulty. So we've done 2 bosses, and that was our extensive testing. And we arrived at the conclusions that yes, they are bosses and they do drop loot.
So, and a lot of loot, and it didn't seem that much harder. Although some of the stuff is hard, it's still hard. It's still harder than it was, because we have had reports of people.
Yeah.
There's a range of difficulty across the uprisings.
They're like dungeons. They're maximum of 4 people. It's it's basically 1 to
And
1 to 4.
they do
Nobody
have
does it with 1, though.
bosses. They do have bosses. It's just in between. It's meant to be fast paced and shorter than a flashpoint, which is the more typical instance. But those are pretty quick already. So it's kind of a lofty goal.
It's waves. It's like waves of trash mobs, but it's meant to seem like a run and gun battle against waves of guys coming after you. And there's only 2 bosses in them.
Like a WoW scenario.
Kinda, yeah, kind of like a WoW scenario.
Okay.
And they fit in an interesting niche in the story, and they were around this time that it was the fall of the Cthulhu Empire. It was your alliance. You were this alliance leader, and you're trying to keep the galaxy together. What you have is like, some of this scum and villainy spread across the galaxy, causing problems. So
But I
you
think
got to go and fix those problems.
It's more like a setting. It's not really meant to be a storytelling vehicle.
Right.
So there are no cutscenes.
So that's
Gotcha.
the idea, and then you go.
Okay.
You go. There's smugglers doing bad things on Hoth, so you just go take care of them. There's no
Gotcha,
story
yeah.
associated with. They're just bad guys doing bad
Right.
things.
Yeah,
Oh,
just a little excursion.
You don't have to, tell people spacebar.
Right.
And it's not. You said it's flexible, or it seems to be flexible from like 1 to 4.
So
As much as a dungeon is, as much as a
I mean,
Okay.
is, yeah.
there's several different versions of each instance. You can go solo story. Not every instance has a solo story version,
Right.
but a lot of them do. Then there's regular story, then there's veteran, and then there's master mode. And master mode is really the only one that requires a typical trinity of tank, healer, DPS. The rest you can sort of go in whatever your makeup is that you like.
Gotcha.
Yes. Now, announced this week, so that has been added recently. They've been doing updates and tweaks to the game slowly, but definitely been doing them. Announced this week, they announced what they're calling the 6.3 update. And the 6.3 update has some significant new content associated with it, which sounds pretty cool. And they did a big live stream on Thursday that was much bigger than we expected. It lasted a little bit over an hour. And they've done this with their last 2 live streams. The last one was a couple months back. They've done the content of the live stream. So they talked about the update. They talked about the new Flashpoint, which is this the planet behind me here, the Jedi Enclave on Dantooine, and you're gonna chase down Darth Malgus. Oh, come on, Malgus! I uncued my sound effect. He'll queue up in a second.
Battle begin.
There you go.
Let the battle begin.
Thanks, Malgus. He was dark side screwing up my my timing there, as those evil Sith are wont to do. So we're getting that, but they did these voice actor interviews both last time and this time. Those are great. I think those have been amazing.
Yeah.
What is your perspective on those, Seema? Because I know you like them too.
Oh, well, I mean, they're fantastic, and I can't believe how varied like we've seen like I would say around 5 voice actor interviews before, but I'm continually amazed by we get another voice actor and that person is so distinct and so creative and so different from the 5 that went before, and it also brings out like the best in the community too, because when you're watching the chat scroll by during a voice actor interview, it's all so positive and glowing, and they're just in love with this. They love the actor because the actor loves the game, and
Yep.
and then they also love the actor because the actor was Alara Dorn, and Alara Dorn is my favorite companion, and I mean it's just great. And then that was Moira Quirk.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one was a guy named Gideon Emery, and so Moira has been with SWTOR since the very, very, very beginning. And then this guy Gideon Emery is just now starting with 6.3, so we got to have a perspective of jumping into a game that's been going for almost 10 years already to someone who has been growing all along with her character. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But these voice actors, man, they're beautiful people.
They are. They're so beautiful.
They're just, their voices are amazing. They're actors. They look good.
Talented.
Well, last time around we had Darren DePaul.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Darren DePaul, Darren DePaul
He killed it.
The BioWare people like had to they felt bad. They were gonna like talk all day. And Darren was like pulling out his action figures, his Star Wars action figures, and he was, so Darren's done, he's a big World of Warcraft voice actor, Blizzard in general, but he has done a lot of very significant roles for Star Wars: The Old Republic. The biggest content of the last few years has been he's been the main Emperor and the voice of the Emperor. So it's been amazing.
And he's also done very trivial characters. He's just He's not proud. He's just fantastic.
I love his homage character with the T. That was amazing.
Yeah.
General Daroon.
Yes.
Right.
It's named for him. General Daroon. This is General Daroon here on my screen right now. It's named for Darren, obviously, Darren DePaul.
Yeah.
So he's voice. He does Valkorion. He does General Daroon. And then he does this Scrapper. There's like 3 of his main characters.
Yeah.
Scrapper somebody. And he had this really amazing thing where he did the voice of all 3 of them and each of their perspective. I think he like made it up on the spot. He's like ad-libbing and making it up on the spot. And he did in each of their voices. He said, Scrapper Dan, first sign of trouble, I'm out of there. And, General Daroon is first sign of trouble, and I've got your back. And then he does Valkor, and he goes, first sign of trouble is me. Hitting that General in that Darren DePaul voice is just very, very cool. So really fun stuff going on with all that kind of stuff in Star Wars. We're looking forward to the new content. It is Malgus driven, so this me being on the on Dantooine with the ruins of the Jedi Enclave there in the back. That's where the flashpoint will be, and that is a story element. Malgus was kind of resurrected. He was under the control of the Empress. Spoilers, little tiny spoilers from months ago. He broke out. He escaped he was under control, both physically and mentally of the Empress. He's unchained right now. He's, unleashing himself upon the galaxy. And apparently we're going to follow his trail. Don't know if we're going to encounter him just yet, but follow his trail to and through the ruins of the Jedi Enclave, which is an iconic Star Wars-y Legends kind of thing. So it's going to be fun to get out. You can't actually go to this. So this is me on Dantooine right now. You die if you step over this cliff. But yeah, we'll be able to go there and check it out and see what's happening.
The new character that Moira Kirk was voice acting is Aaron Lanier, a Jedi, one of the few Jedi who have faced Malgus before.
Yep.
Yes,
and
it was in the book. So if you read the books, any of the Old Republic books, Aaron Lanier was in those books. She's shown up at the end of the cutscenes from 2 months ago with the last story beat, she's now going to be a main character because she has this connection to Malgus and has sort of tangoed with him before.
And she was
so we'll see.
outcast from the Jedi, but came back.
Yes. Because
I
she
think
was.
she's still maybe sort of semi not approved of. Like Satele, well, I guess we'll see how Satele Shan reacts to her. But the initial little teaser, Satele didn't seem that happy.
Because she's sort of a rule breaker.
Yeah.
I think we got some rule breakers in here. It's my Matthew McConaughey from Magic Mike.
But she's kind of had some interesting company herself, so I don't know.
Yes, she has. Darth Mar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and she's still. Well, I guess he's sort of off in the ether now. But his Force Ghost. She was having dinner with his Force Ghost every Thursday night. I was like, like when they were alive, they were like almost like an item.
Yeah.
But some of these Sith Lords, a couple of the Sith Lords, actually Asina too. Although Asina might not be alive for some of you. All right, here we go.
Schrodinger's
Asina might be dead for some of you. And
Q rant number 67.
Right. Yeah.
And for the people that don't know, choices matter. Bioware's really fun about the stories, right? And you can make choices where things will happen where you like can't get a companion, or you have a different emperor. So this is one of the biggest examples. Some major characters might be dead in your story and alive for other people.
Oh, wow.
And that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Schrodinger's galaxy.
I mean,
it makes it really hard, and I can only imagine the kind of flowcharts that Charles Boyd, the lead writer, must have, because like Emperor Asina is a really cool character. Now you can never use Emperor Asina in any major story moving forward because she's dead for a whole bunch of people.
Some people, right.
Which is a shame in my book.
Yeah.
Right, and some people have killed off Jace Malcolm, who's one of my favorite characters, and it's like, so now I can't say, oh, maybe he'll show up here, and I'm like, no, they can't use him now because even though he's still alive in my version of the galaxy,
right. So
that seems to make things overly complex for them.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
And it's not just a storyline too, because they have to make sure that then that character won't show up in some minor cutscene.
Right.
For someone else, and oh my gosh.
And then people complain about it. They're like, "Oh, there was a reference to blah 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 in my version of the game, and blah 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 is dead in my version. So this is complete crap.
Right.
BioWare, you are terrible."
I mean, but it's either that or you have the WoWid where you have a choice. But whatever you chose doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So we have that. We have that too.
There's some of that, but I get people wanting to drive story and have choices that matter, but I kind of feel like you need to have choices, but then still drive the narrative as a writing team so that you can keep your universe together. I call it Schrodinger's galaxy.
Yep.
Because everybody's like both dead and alive, and the waveform doesn't collapse until we figure out what your version of it's not even your legacy. It's each of your characters might have you might log into a character and go, is Darth Asina the Emperor for this character? I don't know.
Oh,
who knows?
Yeah,
maybe for this one, and maybe for not.
Well, then you have the other extreme where Final Fantasy XIV, where there are no choices. You either say a thing, or you say it sarcastically, or you don't say anything.
Yeah.
Or you nod.
You nod. You nod. Or you shake your fist. Yeah.
You have the strongest neck muscles in the world.
Yeah.
And then you have the cutscene where everyone nods at each other.
Yes.
And it goes around twice. 5 people. 10 nods.
Because at that point, they're just memeing themselves on purpose. So.
Yes.
Memeing themselves.
Yes.
I think, but Max, overall, in an MMO, tough choices matter can be done without character death. And I think that's I think when they took it a little bit too far, like there's a scene in one of the character stories where you come up and you have a choice of saving the one person or saving the civilians. And if you save the one person, she shows up later in your character story, and if you don't save her, she doesn't show up. But that's, ensconced in that character story. It's not the whole plot. So,
and like the personal choices that like matter and like the like dark choices that matter to your reputation and what companions you end up getting, that kind of stuff makes sense. But like
right.
But who
you
the
can't
emperor
take
is,
out major character stories like, did you kill Arkin? Did you keep him around? Well, he's no good anymore. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I wanted to jump one of my characters ahead to do some stuff on Odessen, and so I recently had the opportunity to rewatch the Blur cinematic that introduced Knights of the Fallen Empire. And oh my God, that thing is so moving. You wouldn't have to know anything about Star Wars to watch the cinematic.
Nope.
The brothers growing up, and oh my gosh.
You can achieve anything if you're willing to sacrifice.
Right.
Darren DePaul.
That is him. But the character, the animated characters and their facial emotional acting is just really, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. All right, I know we're running late. I did want to just show off Valheim, and
we started late,
I
so
started late. We're good.
So Valheim, we'll wrap back up on Star Wars. So if you got anything else, Sima, but I'll do a quick run through on Valheim, because the guild, it's really only a handful of people that are playing. But what Valheim is a survival game. You get dumped into the world. It's sort of, you're a Viking afterlife. You get dumped into the world and you pick up some sticks and off the ground, and then you make a campfire, and then you make your first little hut, and then you gather some resources. And there's kind of tiers as you gather some leather. You got the leather armor. Then you want to upgrade the leather armor. You got to fight tougher and tougher things to get like from leather up to bronze, and then bronze up to iron, and then iron up to silver weapons. And this is our guild keep, though, that we just put together this week. And that's my personal house off in the distance. But this is the guild keep that we have. So we all have a place where we can be safe, because it is quite a dangerous world, and you will get attacks on wherever you're living as well. But crafting is a big element. So we've got these big crafting centers. We had to like mine all of the resources to build each one of these components. Like each block in here is placed separately. Each board, square, floor tile, all of these are all placed separately. So you got to get all the materials. You got to put it together. So I've spent many hours on work conference calls this week to get the materials for this version of the castle. And these are all components then that make one of our crafting benches, and got all these portals which connect some of the personal houses and places we can all play. So if anybody wants to sort of experience these the what's going on from a survival game perspective, this is one of these sort of like crafting, building, build it out, build together kind of games that we have going on. Mm-hmm. I would say Dual Universe is the other one.
Yep.
Very cool.
Quite fun. This is my little personal house. I sort of set it up.
And what prevented you from teleporting was ore, right?
Metals you cannot take through the teleporter. So teleporters can connect. Like here's the whole world. Here's where our first base is. Teleporters, though, you can't take ore or raw metal through the teleporters.
That's an interesting detail.
Yeah.
It forces you to build ships. And there's 3. You can build a raft, a medium-size car. It's called a KARVE, a carve, or the Viking longboat, which is what my boat is out there in the harbor. It forces you to build the ships and then sail the seas. The seas can be very angry and rainy, and there's sea serpents that can attack your boat and sink your boat, and there's leviathans out there where you can mine the barnacles off of their backs, and the worlds can be very, very dangerous. Each of the biomes is more and more dangerous. Like there's like meadows, which are the baseline, and then black forests are here up, and then swamps are even worse, and mountains are even worse than that. And the worst of all is the plains for whatever reason.
Oh.
But that's where the death skeetos live. If
Oh
you know
my.
those, Seema,
That does not sound good.
No.
Seema said it sounds really cute.
Because I was reading it as like Descuito, like
Yeah, there you go.
like Niñito, like
Yeah.
like a little endearing ito at the end of it.
Right,
Right.
which makes it cute. Okay, that does make it cute automatically
Yep.
per
But
the language.
no, it's like it's a mosquito that kills you. I mean, they're like the size of your head and can one shot you
I
unless
don't
you have
like
the higher tier
mosquitoes
spear.
even of normal size.
Right.
Yeah. MOUSs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, mosquitoes of unusual size.
Yeah.
All right. So just another game of the many that we play in the guild, and another place that we have fun. I still spend most of my time in Star Wars, but Valheim is hitting that kind of building that I
Building
really
itch.
get a kick out of the creative.
Yeah.
When some of these games have the creative aspect to it.
So,
All right.
have a-
So finishing
have a
on
question
Star
for
Wars,
you guys.
anything I missed here? Yeah.
I do want to mention for Star Wars that if you are interested in learning how to run the harder modes of ops, Marcus has put a survey up, and he's going to get together, depending on the results of the survey, a group of people to meet, say like once a month or whatever, and do some sort of how to be a better operations player so that you can do the harder content. And that survey is in our Discord, so you can scroll through there, do like a from Marcus search, and scroll back, and you can find the survey. It's on SurveyMonkey.
I think it's
So-
pinned also.
Oh yeah, and then it's going to be up for at least one more day. So better sooner than later. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to say.
If you can hear the sound of our voices, go find that survey.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Quick question. With 6.3 announced and the Flashpoint and what it's bringing, since they haven't done a roadmap, is 7.0 like 2022, 2023?
No, that's going to be 10th anniversary.
You think
So
7.0
they've
for
said-
10th anniversary?
Well, it's got to. I mean, they've been talking for over a year now.
That's our speculation.
Yeah.
That's our speculation. But they've
Makes
been hyping up the 10th anniversary.
Right.
Big stuff coming for 10th anniversary.
I mean, there are people in the community that think that 6.3 was their big 10-year announcement. And I'm like,
No.
no, this is not.
No,
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I mean,
Just curious.
I think they're probably over promising.
It might be.
I mean,
That's-
to hype for 18 months and say, look out, 10th anniversary is going to be amazing. But they have been for 18 months talking
I know.
about 10th anniversary, big
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So that's going to be December. December is the 10th anniversary.
Okay.
So
Do you think something on the level of Knights of the Fallen Empire?
that would be my bet. Now they've hinted. The only thing they've hinted at in the last two live streams are systems updates also. So like Keith has hinted at like graphics, sort of like graphics
Right, right.
updates.
So a new engine, maybe?
that kind of state. I don't know I don't think they can go new engine, but I don't know, textures or whatever they can do. They seem excited about that. Systems, probably quality of life. They love to do those kinds of things, and there's a lot of great quality of life kind of features. Instant travel wherever you want to go in the whole galaxy in Star Wars works really well. Like I can hit not control M, shift M here. Any of these planets I can just click on and I can ship myself right there.
Nice.
You got to like unlock the ability, but instant travel to any planet, and then once I'm on the planet, I can hit M and I can instant travel to any of the quick travel points, which are like the flight path points. Instant travel right to them.
No
So
cooldown.
if you think of like how,
Yep.
yeah,
You have to get that ability, but still it's there.
Yeah.
Right.
when I think of even like trying to go from my Covenant to the Maw,
Yeah.
and then I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'm gonna go make a sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you've upgraded your
Shadowlands.
travel network, but still, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
games
mean,
like that
yeah.
where they respect your time. Like that's one of the SWTOR respects your time. Final Fantasy 14 is the same way. WoW still wants you to feel how big the world is.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's like, look at all this cool stuff we did. No, we don't need that. Let me get you the cool place I'm going to, the cool stuff I want to do that you made for me to do there.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So I imagine stuff like that, and I would imagine there's going to be a content drop of some kind.
Sure.
But that's just imagination. They haven't really hinted at that specifically that I've heard.
I just because they've been hyping it up so much, I'm like, they got to have something big.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Well,
Especially
and the
with
timing was perfect.
And I don't want to say it's little, but because it's been a flashpoint or it's been, things, but the content updates is what they're calling story beats. And it's just little things. It doesn't seem to be
bits
like
so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
6.3 will be a slightly bigger update. It sounds like, we're bringing in new characters. It's not going to be like, 20 hours of story, but
the cutscenes that we had for 6.2, they didn't even call that a beat. So
yeah,
right.
A story beat is a little bit bigger than that. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. We had Spirit of Vengeance, and that was kind of a little bit of a story of its own, and with a flashpoint, and that was kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Outside of the sort of the main story, but not unrelated, and very Mandalorian focused. That was kind of cool.
And also very overtuned
in the game right now.
Anyway, won't get into that.
Yeah, and
Sounds like
they
you really
fixed
thought
that
that.
a little bit.
Get
It was
good,
also a little bit
kids.
buggy.
Right?
Yeah. So lots to look forward to. Lots of fun that I'm sure we're going to have all summer. They are adding a new system to the game, which is an advanced version alongside daily login rewards that they have right now. They're going to add almost like a
battle pass.
Yeah.
Like a battle pass, like your Covenant dailies.
Yeah.
Now I just thought of it. It's going to be kind of like that. You're going to have like
Right.
a thing you need to do each day to get very significant rewards, including a new stronghold, which is on the Imperial fleet and the Republic fleet, and it's an apartment that overlooks the VIP lounge in the center of the fleets. Kind of really cool looking.
Yeah.
A new
Right.
companion, which is one of those elephant alien dudes.
That you can
Yeah.
get to
The
level
armor
50
sets
through
and-
the story.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Should be fun.
I'm cautiously optimistic,
Yeah.
but I'm also
same.
worried because it. Well, we'll see how that works out.
Who
Well, I
burns
don't want
that
it
on
to
the
You
feel
and me
bad.
both, Seema. You and me both.
I'll say
I
that-
mean, if it's
I don't want a
like
job.
callings or emissaries in WoW, I'm fine with that. If it's like today the activity is PvP and tomorrow it's GSF and the third
Yeah.
day it's PvE, then it's going to take me 3 times as long because I life is short.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to
And
do the
games to
activities
play.
I don't
And
like
pizza to
just to
make.
get
Yeah.
virtual points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Plus-
we'll discuss
plus, you know-
that on our next podcast. Games that respect your time as a player.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
get into
totally.
that. Okay.
All right. So I think that's about it for tonight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So chat room. Start suggesting titles. Max, Seema, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
Obvi-
us.
Always. Besides, the obvious, the Escape Podcast, where can people find you guys?
Guild Discord. I think that's the number one.
Yeah, that is-
I post stuff to Max the Gray on Twitter, but only when like we're going live on the podcast on Thursday
Okay.
nights. But Guild Discord, we're both in there. All of us are in there all the time. If you're looking for a guild invite, the LFO channel, do an @officer either there or in the game channel.
Mm-hmm.
Come find us all in there. Ask for invites on any game. Ask for advice on how to get into Dual Universe or Valheim or Outriders or whatever. We want everybody to have fun playing all the things. So let us know.
Excellent.
We'll be there.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast, Mew is at The Mew Cow. McCall is at Cyberwave. And I am at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us at our website, aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.info/discord. For past episodes, you can see us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/the AIE Podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And as a reminder, if you have a short segment, 90 to 120 seconds long, that you'd like to play at the end of our podcast, please, we'd love to hear from you. Send it in. That way I don't have to. And get your content shown. Heard.
All right. Next time, which will probably be Easter, we're gonna need to have a little co-host meeting there to make sure that's good for everybody. But we're just gonna be talking to us about ourselves, probably talking about games that don't waste our time.
Exactly.
So until then, AIE, this is Makala,
This is Tetsemi.
This is Mcconaughey.
and this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Hey,
All right, show titles are rolling in already.
awesome show, guys! Thank you so much.
Yes.
Lots of useful
Yeah,
information.
always a good time. Let's look at these show titles. I like the
They may-
choices. I always kind of
Not
want
as
to
bad as
combine
WoW.
a couple of these about choices.
I like
Choices
Max
matter.
and Emma are
Beware the
great.
Deathsquitos.
Oh, there you go.
Leave my WoW
I
yeah,
alone.
mean-
like
I don't know. I'm honestly like maybe I need to be paying more attention to SWTOR, less attention to WoW, because everyone's having fun over there. It seems.
Yeah.
Or it could just be a
When
grass
I
and greener
said that
thing,
about
though.
not as bad as WoW, I was specifically commenting on the loot drops
Yeah.
in Shep.
No, and that's one thing we didn't cover, and we need to emphasize, because one of the reasons I took 10 characters to Conquest was specifically because I knew I'm getting loot
something.
that's
Yeah.
usable, or if it's not usable, if it's like the exact same piece or a side grade, I can turn it into something that I can then get the usable pieces from, and it's a significant amount.
Yeah, and
Although I
that's what's
still-
hurting WoW right now. It's that loot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's-
starting like I can remember back in Draenor on that they had that world boss in Tanan Jungle.
Yes.
Kazakh.
Yep.
I would be, oh good, it's Tuesday. I can go kill Kazakh on all my alts and maybe get some gear, and it was fun
Right.
and
Yeah.
all this stuff. And now the world bosses are there in WoW, and I'm like, oh, it's a long way to go. I'm not going to get anything
Yeah.
anyway, except for the
Inconvenient to
anima.
get
Do I
to.
really
Yeah.
want? Yeah, it's
Well,
like
and they took out. This is what frustrates me: is the Great Vault was supposed to help with the loot disparity, but what people wanted was more control over getting the specific pieces they were looking for, and they took out your one option, which was the bonus coin. Like,
Yeah.
I've run world bosses on 4 characters this entire, loop, and I think I've gotten loot maybe twice.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've gotten any loot off of a world boss, and I do it as often as
Yeah.
I can.
right.
Yeah.
It's mostly, I do it for the anima. I don't do it for the loot. It's like he's not a loot boss anymore. He's just you get.
He's
a
an
little
anima.
bit
He's
more
your
anima.
250 anima
Right.
to go towards the 1,000. But now
Yep.
Well,
that you're at
on
40
the-
renown,
and also you
Why
also
bother?
get the 250 anima to go towards the 15,000
Yeah.
to upgrade your network so that you can have a way to get to Oribos.
Yeah.
exactly.
And now I'm farming anima just so I can, because I don't want to go to Torghast, so I get my my ash from the
Mission
champion
table.
board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Although
Although
yeah.
I don't mind going to Torghast. It's just I don't always have an hour
Right.
to
Yeah.
sit down and
Well,
run
I don't
through
either.
Torghast.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time. It's
Yeah.
they don't respect our time.
No.
No.
It was funny because I was reading through Reddit and somebody just posted a huge rant on games not respecting your time about Path of Exile. And I guess there's a new game, something Eclipse LE, I forget what it is, that's like Path of Exile, but with quality of life improvements. So, yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating. All right.
All right.
So
I
what do you guys
realized-
think?
okay, oh, for show title?
Yeah.
I like Max and Seema are great.
No, that's a joke.
It's only half true.
That's correct. It's only half true.
We can do Choices Matter where Beware the Desquitos. That covers the game, StoTor, and Valheim.
Sure.
All right. You good with that, Seema?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, then we will let you guys get back to doing stuff. All right, chat room. Thank you
You've
as
got
always.
chickens.
All right.
Thank you so much, chat room. You
Yeah.
are the absolute best.
Yep.
Yes.
Have
Good
a
night,
great one.
everyone.